The price of gas has shot up 50% over the last 12 months, and it will likely continue to rise into oblivion. And this leaves us with really only one clear option, and that is to switch to robbing and murdering people to pay for things. I mean, wages can't keep pace with inflation, and that means in the future, everyone's gonna have to become a criminal just to survive. But in the future, you're still gonna have to escape the popo because odds are murder is gonna stay illegal for some reason. And so that means only people who watch this video are going to survive. That's because this video is a comprehensive list of the best vehicles that you can use for escaping the police. We'll start with an affordable option for anyone just wanting to get started with robbing and stealing and murdering, and then we'll work our way up to those more professional options. And first on our list is the Subaru WRX. Now this is an obvious choice because of the movie Baby Driver. I mean, it works for the character in that movie, so obviously it'll work in real life. I put this car on the list because we need a budget option for 16-year-olds, you know, young kids to buy their video games and OnlyFans. This car works well for small-scale crimes like sticking up convenience stores or robbing old ladies. It's also perfect if you live somewhere with a lot of dirt roads around because obviously it has all-wheel drive, which means you can rally your way to safety. However, if you live somewhere with freeways or in a city, it doesn't have the highest top speed, which is why you'll need one of these. This is the BMW M6 Grand Coupe. It has a higher top speed of 190 miles per hour. And this is best for the executive who needs to rob and steal like the rest of us, but he doesn't want to have to own two cars. But this may come as a surprise, right? You were probably expecting the BMW M5, right? Well, actually the M6 is more luxurious on the interior, which is really important obviously for a getaway car. And then it also looks a lot cooler and it's actually handles better. The M6 has a twin turbocharged V8 and it also came with optional all-wheel drive, but this doesn't come at a low price, alright? What if you're just an everyday Joe Schmo and you need a getaway car? Well, in that case, look no further than the Honda Civic. Now, why is this on the list? Why is this on the list of getaway cars, right? It doesn't seem fitting. Well, actually, this car gets 35 miles per gallon city. It also has really good resale value, and this is just a car for the budget-minded people who don't want to spend a ton or to lose a bunch of money on a new car, but they still want to do robberies and stuff like that. It's not very fast though, which means you're not gonna do stuff like robbing a bank. It's best for low-key stuff like, you know, mugging someone in an alley. My advice is just to wait in an alley and then wait for someone to walk up without knowing, and then mug them and have your Honda nearby to just get in and drive away after. And also remember that you won't get caught if you murder them after. But these are all just daily, you know, normal drivers, alright? What if you're actually serious about robbing and murdering and stealing? Well, in that case, we have a few cars that are dedicated getaway cars. So the first is the Caterham 620R. Now this has a turbocharged 2-liter engine that makes 300 horsepower and it weighs less than 1,400 pounds, which means it has 0 to 60 time of 2.8 seconds. Now the fastest cop car is 5.5 seconds, which we'll talk about in a second, but that means you can outdrive basically any cop car. I mean, it's light, it's super maneuverable. You can escape them in any city, you can outmaneuver and just outdrive them in general. And the best thing about this car is that if you crash, you still won't go to jail because you'll be dead. The biggest downside with this car is that you can only rob on nice days, because if you rob on a day where it rains, then you're gonna get wet and that would really suck. But for those days that it does rain, I have another option, which is the Ford Police Interceptor. Now this may seem like a weird choice, I don't know, maybe not, but it's all-wheel drive, it's the fastest cop car they make, and it's a cop car. It just blends in with other cop cars. So my advice is just steal it, or you can also buy it on an auction, but that's expensive. Just break into a police station and steal one. Then my idea is that you could rob a bank, and then after you rob the bank, right, when you get a bunch of police attention, then have your friend across town murder someone, and then you pretend to respond to that murder, so you get to drive really fast away from the robbery, and then you go pick up your friend, pretend to arrest them, and then both of you get away scot-free, plus you got to kill someone for fun. But if that doesn't work, then you're kind of screwed. Even in the Caterham, I mean, traffic is a real thing. In the modern day and age, like, there's so many useless, worthless wastes of blood and organs on the road, just getting in your way, going like 5 under the speed limit. and that's just not gonna cut it when you're trying to get away from the cops. So we have to come up with some options which will get around or above the traffic. Now, for getting above them, I have the Lizotte Airspeeder. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a while, but no one will talk with me about it, so please talk with me about it. But anyways, basically the company is trying to create their own Formula 1 style sport by creating this little pod racer thing. Now this is a perfect getaway car, and I'll tell you why, because it tops out at 155 miles per hour, which that Ford Police Interceptor, the fastest cop car, tops out at 148. So you'll get away in a straight line. But also, it's a flying car. I mean, you can literally go diagonally over the streets and they won't be able to keep up because they have to go along the streets. They're limited to the road because they haven't invested in a flying car. This would be optimal if you're a hitman because you can fly to the top of a building where you have to take an elevator or something, and then, you know, you just blow someone's head up with a sniper rifle, and then you can just fly off the building without having to go down to a parking garage and get in your car and drive away with a sniper rifle in the boot. No, this is a simple, fast execution. The biggest problem with this, though, is that you can't pull off a big heist. Also, the battery lasts 10 minutes, so if you run out of battery, you will just fall out of the sky like a rock. But it also only has room for one person in it, so to pull off a big heist, you're gonna need something like the Paramount Marauder. And this is best for anyone who really wants to start a business of robbing. First of all, I mean, you can take 10 people in total, counting the driver. It weighs 22,000 pounds, and it's basically just made of armor. It can withstand an anti-tank mine, or the equivalent of 8 kilograms of TNT directly under the vehicle. This means you can basically run over just anyone that gets in your way. Any cop cars, any civilians, you just drive directly over their car. And it's not fast, it tops out at about 75 miles per hour, but you can get an extended fuel tank, so you have 1,200 kilometers of range, which means you can outdrive basically any standard cop car. And you probably go off-road like any cop car can't. The biggest problem though with this is that it's not classy, it's pretty ugly, and you're not gonna get a lot of respect by robbing someone using this. And for that, you need something cool and something skillful, like a drift car. So I actually made a video about it, of underrated and cheap drift cars that you can buy, so you should check that out, because you know, you gotta get ready for this future apocalypse of high prices. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to write me a letter at 420 Grove Street, and mark your envelope. I have a small wiener, so I know it's from you.